Hi guys, Mark Devo. Welcome back to A Conscious Time and welcome to this channel where we discuss things navigating this world through the eyes of awareness, bird's eye view, dropping judgment, dropping guilt, dropping doubt. These will be the biggest pivotal changes that you can make in your life. You can take my word for it to cut the learning gap, or don't take my word for it and go out there and experience it for yourself. If we do not drop these things, then we are going to perpetuate these things. Once we drop doubt, drop fear, drop guilt, drop judgment, our next steps are going to be free. So if please do like, share, and subscribe if you find this adds value. Obviously, I want to grow this channel, reach more people out there with what I feel is positive, uplifting, and tapping into our highest potential, that which is given to us by God. We're all part of God, lacking for nothing, and that's what this channel is all about. Let's jump into this video about manifesting the present moment. I'm very passionate about the present moment and the power of the present moment, the illusion of time versus the truth of eternity, which I'm going to chat about more in some of my other videos, but I want to bridge a little bit of time versus eternity alongside that present moment, and how to manifest and create that which you want in your life. So I can say from my own experience that I've manifested, I have created things in my life amazingly that I've written down, that I've put out there, and I've seen the results. Having said that, I'm by no means an expert, and there's no perfect formula. There's gurus out there that will say there's how to manifest this, how to manifest that. There are standards, but at the end of the day, we are very complex beings with a lot of nuances, and we are all on our own journey. So this is going to, hopefully, you're going to leave with something that can be tailored, not tailored but generic, but you can tailor it for yourself. It's going to set a beautiful foundation. The first foundation is dropping the judgment, dropping the guilt, dropping the doubt. Now you've got a perfect foundation to build on. If you don't drop those things, anything you build on there is going to be ego driven. It's going to be driven from lack, from fear. So whatever you achieve, it's going to be fleeting. So yeah, let's jump into this. You've heard, obviously, I'll look down on my computer just to keep me on track, some of the notes that I've made. I take a lot of my learnings from, Bible, Course in Miracles, the Law of One, Rudolf Steiner, Neville Goddard. So we're going to be talking and ending off on Course in Miracles quotes, and we're going to be talking, which is a beautiful book, curriculum. You have to experience the actual book and curriculum to understand what I'm saying, but the message is simple and uplifting, and that's what the point is. I'm sure you've heard about Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard talks about amazing things in terms of manifestation and living in that awareness. I'll put a link to some of Neville Goddard's things, so please do check out Neville Goddard. Josiah Bryant does a nice channel on Neville Goddard. All right, so as I've mentioned, there's obviously a lot of nuances out there with how we manifest, and the manifestation and the present moment are critically linked, and that's why you've got to live, as Neville Goddard said, has said, live with the end in mind. It's the law of magnetism, it's the law of resonance, or it's the law of attraction. A lot of people have been talking about the law of attraction. How do we live in that and use that present moment? And that brings up the topic of there is nothing but this present moment. Time is an illusion, and eternity is the truth. So I'm not going to unpack that too much, but you either believe in the one, or the one is true and the one is false. So either time is true or false, or either eternity is true or false. We don't have to quantify this, or we don't have to scientifically back this up in this conversation. We could just think about it logically. And some people won't understand, but how is time an illusion? So time is how is time not real? So time is not real in the fact that it's an illusion. We think it's real, so it appears real. But if you think about it from a greater scheme of things, from God being the creator, without him was nothing made that was made. That John, I always go back to that, John verse 1, chapter 1. So everything is God. So we are used to birth and death, life and death. There is actually no death. There is only life. Anyway, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but the point is, from a godly perspective, God is obviously not He's the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. So there is no time. He doesn't get born. He doesn't get destroyed. God is God. God is everything, timeless. So if we think about that, we are now part of God, but we are in a time frame or focus point of time, which is ultimately an illusion because everything is happening now. Jesus talks about this. The kingdom of heaven is here. I don't know the exact quote, but the kingdom of heaven is all around us. So the kingdom of heaven is not in the future. It's right here, right now. So it's just we have bought into, or we are in this time of illusion, or this illusion of time. So when that relates now to how we manifest, and Neville Goddard saying, live with the end in mind, we have to become that now, which we want to be in the future. If we see it in the future, then it's always going to be in the future. But you have to live with the feeling, or live with that which you want now. So let's say you want to be the CEO of a company. You have to obviously be on that journey already. You can't be maybe some guy that's doing something totally different, that is in a corporate world or not in a business, does not have his business, not working for a business, but he wants to be a CEO. That doesn't align with him. So living with the end in mind, or living with that feeling, or that law of attraction is going to be it's not impossible, but as you can see, it's not going to come to fruition anytime soon. The time there may be a little bit longer than the person that's already on that journey. He can see, or he can see and feel that, if that's what he truly wants, or he or she truly wants. So now you've got to fast track that, live with the end in mind of going, I'm not the CEO now, bear with me, but I can see myself as the CEO. I will be the CEO. I am the CEO. When you adopt that mindset, you act accordingly. And it's just a matter of time how that comes to fruition. So I hope that does make sense. It could be the next day. It could be a month. It could be a year. It just depends on certain nuances. That's why each person's journey is different. But as you can see, it has to be in that present moment. If it's always in the future, it's always going to be in the future. So hopefully I'm going to be tracking there. And as I've mentioned, I've seen these things come to fruition, but I'm no master of this, but I can see the cause and effect, things I've written down, the things that I've created, manifested, thought about, see that come to fruition. So make note that you actually do acknowledge those things. But I also see through awareness that I've still got a lot of blockages in my life. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's without judgment. I can see now I can start working through those various blockages. So that's what you need to do. Don't get frustrated. Through the eyes of awareness, dropping judgment, dropping guilt, can you be free, and can you now create? All right, so I hope that is making sense. So I just want to end off here in some walkaways, some takeaways, and then some of the messages or statements that I'm going to take from A Course in Miracles. So we've mentioned dropping fear, dropping judgment, dropping guilt. I would say you need to be spirit-led. Ask the Holy Spirit for guidance. We've mentioned this in some of my other videos. Otherwise, you're going to be doing what the world dictates. How true that is for your full alignment, your highest calling, your purpose that God has given you. We are all part of God, lacking for nothing. We've just got to unveil that, unfold that with dropping the illusions of the fear and the guilt and all of that, and the Holy Spirit will guide you with that. Otherwise, you are going to be fulfilling, manifesting, creating things that are probably worldly aligned, and you might achieve them, but they might just not fulfill you. So that's the sad part, for lack of a better word. And also, does it align with you? Your goals, your aspirations, how does that align with you? When you are spirit-led, then you can sit, meditate, pray, start writing those things down. So I hope that makes sense. And then again, what's most important with manifesting and creating is becoming non-attached. Set those goals. You're spirit-led. Now it's going to be from a higher calling, a higher fulfillment, a higher purpose. But don't be attached to the outcome. Write it down and leave it at that. You don't want to strive, because striving pushes it away. You want to be non-attached. You want to be letting go, as we've talked about. David R. Hawkins talks about that. And non-attachment is you tapping into that power now. You already have everything. So when you're non-attached, now you can create from joy, from pure creation, from true fulfillment and true purpose. So I hope that helps. Let's just jump into a little bit of a time versus eternity from A Course in Miracles, which I find very profound, and we're going to tap into that in some of my other videos, because the time versus eternity in the present moment is something I'm very passionate about and amazing to discuss. All right, so one of the little statements here from A Course in Miracles, and I'll put the link in the description for the larger portion, is: you have elected to be in time rather than eternity. So that's you, that's us. We've elected to be in time rather than eternity, because we have split off from God, as it were. We have delved into the ego, as we've discussed before. The ego is the false illusory thought system. We are ultimately always part of God, but we have, through the separation, the illusion of separation, we have separated ourselves into the illusion of time. So you have elected to be in time rather than eternity, and therefore believe you are in time. So we actually are ultimately in eternity. Yet your election is both free and alterable. You do not belong in time. Your place is only in eternity, where God himself placed you forever. So just dwell on that statement. It's profound. It's, beyond words, and pretty incredible. And the next statement that I do want to end off is: time and eternity are both in your mind, and will conflict until you perceive time solely as a means to regain eternity. So A Course in Miracles talks about time being there solely for learning purposes. So we are stuck in time. We are actually eternal. We actually are with God, but we are here for learning purposes. And time is there for learning. So it's an illusion, because we actually don't need the time, but we need time to learn certain things about ourselves and the journey that we're on. So I hope this has made a bit of sense in terms of how you can manifest the things that you would like in this world, for your higher purpose, using the power of the present moment, because everything happens in this present moment. As I'm repeating, Neville Goddard says, live with the end in mind, live with what you want, knowing that it's already here. So everything is already here. We've just got to unpack that or unveil that in time, and time will be dependent on our belief and faith in that. So, and that will take a little bit of practice or faith or belief, and it will come to fruition and manifestation how big or your understanding and how strong your faith and belief is. Dwell on that, go back to this video. Hopefully I've aligned everything. And again, if it's made sense, you see great value, please like, share, subscribe, and we will check you on the next one.